Wednesday the 22nd, 22nd of January, and here for the morning update. Just what I talk about in these updates is pretty consistent. Just run through what I'm looking at in the futures market. So I use levels and support and resistance is a very simple, easy process to trade futures. We'll talk about what I'm looking at there. I'll run through very quickly just to recap what I'm looking at in Forex and show how that works, and then we'll hit crypto. Today I am going to truly keep it brief. This week, not today but tomorrow, I'm speaking at the Wealth 365 event. Today I'm spending some time just running through my presentation, looking at timing and cues, and just making sure that things are running smoothly. So I have a goal of a certain number of times to practice that today before the event tomorrow. So I'm going to keep this one quick. So let's go ahead and get over to it, and we'll talk through it. I do have some additional training I want to get to for you guys this week. There's been some questions. What's easier to trade, a breakout or a bounce when looking at certain things? What more do we need for decision making in the Forex market? I'm recording videos on that right now. I got video 4, by the way, done. I haven't uploaded it to the members area. Should have a chance between the time I end this and the market opening in the futures market for me to get that online for you. I do have one more module there that we'll put it all together and provide you with what you need, I think, for decision making. But anyway, we'll get to all that later. So let's pop over here real quickly. Let's run through the markets, talk about what's happening, and then we will let you guys get on with your day. First thing first, let me pull up a news calendar. For those of you that are trading foreign exchange, the Canadian has a lot of news coming out today, so be aware of that. There's also some medium impact U.S. news, which is home sales information that could be market impacting. It's listed as a yellow report here for U.S. news, but depending on what the variance is from the forecast, we could see that impact the U.S. markets. But the big stuff here, a lot of red reports on the Canadian. So if you're trading Forex, just be aware of that, especially trading Canadian cross pairs. The reason you want to watch for that is around this news, typically, again, there's no absolutes, but typically we'll see spreads widen considerably as we come up to the news event. What does that mean? What it means is, let me just grab a currency pair over here. Let's say on the pound CAD, the spread's typically about 2 pips, right? Typically it's about a 2 pip spread between your bid and your ask on the pound CAD. During CAD news, you can often see that spread widen to 8, 10, 12. Sometimes I've seen spreads widen as much as 20 pips around the news event, which can be terrible. If you only have your bid line on, by the way, alter your charts so you can see your ask, because if you're only showing bid, you're only seeing half of the equation there. Oftentimes when spread widens like that, you can have orders that might be parked way up here that get filled just simply due to the spread. So that can be a dangerous situation to get into. Make sure you're aware of high impact news that's coming out and what it can do to the markets. So again, be careful of the CAD if you're trading Forex. And then, as I mentioned, U.S., the home sales report can certainly be a potential for some volatility in the marketplace. Doesn't mean it will be, but just be aware if you suddenly see a move around that. Don't get caught up in the move, just like with the news yesterday. Don't get caught up in the move. Wait for it to be absorbed, because there's always that reactive piece, and then the markets typically return to normal. All right. What am I talking about with the news? Let me go over here, and we'll hit the futures market. Yesterday, there was a news blip that came out talking about, if you've been following the news out of China, there's a viral pneumonia scare coming out of the Wuhan province, and it's been spreading to other countries. It's kind of been contained up to this point in Thailand, and I forget the other country. But anyway, it's been fairly contained. But then yesterday, the CDC confirmed, they issued a news blurb confirming that a case had been found here in the U.S. And as that news came out, we saw a reaction in the marketplace. And then shortly after, the market returned to normal and went back to its trend that it's been on for the last 2 years. So anyway, that's what happened there, and that's what I'm talking about. News, let news do its thing and then come back in. Talking about the futures market, starting over here again, looking at E-minis, crude, and gold are the three that I watch. E-minis continues to be on an upward trend. We keep hearing folks say, quote, "It can't go any higher," or, quote, "How much higher can it go?" It can go as high as it's going to go. That's the answer. All right. So right now, the current situation is still to look at buying pullbacks on the ES. It's granted, it's at new all-time highs. It hit all-time highs again last night. Does that mean that we need to be contrarian? I mean, of course, if you believe that it's hit its top, certainly you can look at key areas and sell off of those. But, and just like if you're going the other direction, keep your stop loss tight and be prepared to be wrong. Right now, looking at buying pullbacks is still kind of the key area to go. So for me, we pushed to this new high up here. There's really two levels. 33.30 has been a top, and right now we seem to be on the half hour anyway, seem to be kind of bouncing off of what was the previous top at 33.30. That seems to be a support area for us. I'd like to see it come back a little more, back maybe down to this 33.25 and be able to take it long off of that. However, we'll see what happens as the new session begins, and what we need to do to use more of a shorter time frame to make that decision. But I'll be watching 33.30. I mentioned that level yesterday, and we'll be watching it again today to see, now that it's been broken, if this becomes the support level or if it pulls back a little more to the 25 or 27 area that we could potentially buy off of from there. But again, trading with the trend, right, is still, in my opinion, that safer bet. And trading with the trend means we'd be buying pullbacks. So on that. Over here on crude, again, we're still in a downward trend on crude. We're still pushing weaker, looking at selling off of key levels as it pulls up, pulls back in an upper position. If it pushes up, look to sell off of key levels. We've been kind of hanging in this channel I mentioned yesterday between 59 and really 57.5. So, if you do want to be counter trend, look for those pullbacks to 57.50 or so, and look to buy off of those pullbacks. I would also plan to try to take profit around 59 until it breaks that area and the trend reverses. But to this point, we're still on a downward trend in a channel, but still on a downward trend. So there's different ways to play it. You can look at breakouts of that channel if you don't want to mess with it at all, and you're really a patient trader. Wait for breakouts and trade off of the breaks, or you could trade that bounce. And right now in this channel, it looks like we're kind of bouncing around 57.5 and then bouncing back down off of 59. So we'll see which way that ends up being able to go. Again, no one can predict the future. We don't know what direction it's going to go. We can just simply make decisions off of these key levels and areas that give us the most confidence to trade from. Over here in gold, same thing. Pretty tight channel now since really that first full trading week of January. We've been in a pretty tight channel here, and we're sitting 1550 to 1560. Maybe 1570 is that ultimate top up here, but really 1550 to 1560 is where we're playing. We are in an upward trend. I talked yesterday about buying those pullbacks off of 1550, and I was able to pick up a few points on that yesterday off of 1550. So, looking at 1550 continues to be my point to buy gold. So anyway, looking to buy pullbacks on gold, looking to buy pullbacks on the E-minis, looking to sell pullbacks on the crude area. And of course, that's on the 4 hour. You can certainly make decisions by drilling down to lower time frames, and on an intraday basis, if there's a level that's holding up at in a little more of a solid fashion and it's not quite making it to those 4 hour levels, certainly make decisions off that, but you've got to have that written down and have a trading plan around it so that you're not just making arbitrary decisions. You need to have a plan for why you're making the decision that you're making so that you're consistent in your trading process. All right, over here to foreign exchange. Like beating a dead horse with this one, but I'm looking at the same information. It does not change. Time frame changed because I was doing a video yesterday, but the information of what I'm looking at does not change. I'm watching an indicator that allows me to see the currency strength of individual currencies, and that allows me to find out which currencies I want to pair together so that I have the best opportunity to find a currency that's moving. We're doing that because if we're just looking at one or two currency pairs, we're looking at a very, 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 very small percentage of what's actually happening in the marketplace. By looking at currency data in this manner, it allows us to see what's actually driving the moves in the markets, and it may not be what you think. We need to look at the currencies that are actually having activity. All the currencies are related. Every currency in the world is related to one another. There's a fixed dollar value added or given to that pool of currencies. They're all worth a certain dollar amount. So as one currency increases in value, other currencies have to decrease. That's just the way it works. So if we're just looking at a currency pair, quote, that favorite pair, you're doing yourself a disservice. We need to look at the currency market in a broader fashion so that we can understand which ones are actually moving it. Over here on crypto, key levels still the same. Typically pretty darn volatile markets, Ethereum and Bitcoin. However, last few days we've been kind of caught in a channel. We are still in an uptrend, although the volume weighted average is starting to turn on us. But to this point, we're still in an upward trend. So until that changes and that lower or higher value moving average, just moving average over here is broken, we're still in an upward trend, and we'll still look to buy pullbacks. We are in an interesting spot right now, trading off of 167 here for, oh man, I have Bitcoin on both of these. Trading off of 167 on Bitcoin. It's Ethereum. Okay, I'm like, that should be the right thing. I don't know why I said Bitcoin. 167 on Ethereum and 89 area over here on Bitcoin. Still looking to buy off of those levels until it breaks and we choose a change in direction, right? So that's it for now. I'm gonna leave it there, keep this under 15 minutes, go practice my presentation, and of course get that lesson 4 into the members area for you regarding the Forex market. So that's it. If you haven't already registered for Wealth 365, you've missed some great speakers over the course of this week. More coming today, more coming, including myself, tomorrow. So get in there, register for that event. There's a link on the YouTube or on the Facebook site, so you can pick it up there. Have a great day.